verbally that's existing already, right?
Absolutely.
But then also sexually, there's some gaps that's existing as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, Charles, what you've been hearing out there? You been hearing anything, man?
Either people are having a whole lot of it or none of it at all.
Lord have mercy.
All right. And so, what we want to do, and first of all, I want to thank everybody that's joining. This is the Understanding a Man podcast. And what we try to make sure that we do is bring topics to you that can assist you inside of your respective relationship in a multitude of different areas. Thank you to all of our subscribers, everybody that supports as well. And so we're going to jump. We have no choice but to dive right into this topic today. All right. So first of all, Charles, how you doing, man? Is everything you good?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm producing like 4 records right now simultaneously. But
that's right. And you got the Mother's Day joint that's going to come out.
And I got a Mother's Day single that's coming out.
Man, it sounds good, sir. It sounds good.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing the daggone thing. Hey, listen, I got this is my. Yeah, I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right
yes,
there.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
What you got in there? You got coffee?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right.
Coffee with a little bourbon.
Okay. You know, little Kahlua. Okay. But I wanted to. I had an opportunity a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, to just sit down on the Michael and Joy show that they had at the time, and so we were having a conversation with the next individual that I'm going to introduce, and so we had an hour-long conversation, and y'all can catch that on YouTube or whatever afterwards. But just the individuals that's just shaking and moving and doing her thing. I got a little education. I'm excited because I got my tablet right here because I'm about to take some notes about what's about to go down right here. But I want to give her a chance of just introducing herself. And so I want to take a moment and just introduce to some and present to others an amazing individual. Her name is Kenya Stevenson.
Hey.
Stevens.
Yep,
Stevens,
singular.
okay.
Stevens, singular.
Stevens, right? First of all, Kenya, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I feel fantastic. Gotta get my lighting right, but I feel all right.
Yeah, no, you got it. You got the lighting. You got it.
We at home. We're not in our office. We're not in our studio. I don't know what's going on. My lighting is going to hell. But I feel happy, yes.
So, Kenya, if you want to take a moment and just give kind of like your elevator version of yourself, what you do, where you've been, and then we'll kind of just move forward from there. So, Kenya?
Yes, I am Kenya Stevens, Kenya K. Stevens. I am an author, and I am a love coach. So I support monogamous couples.
Love coach.
Monogamous couples in safely transitioning to polyamory. I only work with power couples. My husband and I have done this for the past 15 years. We've been married 24 years. And we have all sorts of books. We also run an online love academy where we support singles, couples, monogamous people, poly people, anyone in becoming a better lover and a person more well-versed in the art of love.
Oh, my goodness. And so and you kind of said it just then, but, so we've heard life coach, we've heard, all types of coaches, but love coach, expand on that real quick for us. What is a love coach? Well,
my goodness, I think love needs the most coaching. Most of life is love. Most of life is love. So, when we say love coach, we support our clients in communicating better with their spouse. Communicating sexually better with
we're
their
about to
spouse.
talk about that in a second. Ooh.
We also support them in really understanding that there is no spouse. Your mate is your mirror. You're looking at your reflection when you look at your partner. So if you have a problem with them, you have a problem with you. And so that's our bottom line, is hardcore.
So you just want to go right in, okay?
Yeah.
So no, but let's talk about that for a second, right?
Yeah.
Because, see, hold on. Charles is pulling his seat up. Okay, so wait. So you said the communication between you and your spouse, if you have a problem with them, then you have a problem with yourself. Can you expand on that real quickly?
Absolutely. I mean, it's all here in my book, Up Level, my communication book, but what we deal with...
Come on, plug.
What we're talking about... What we're talking about, I mean, it's really hard to explain in one fell swoop. That's why I'm showing you the book. But when I support my clients, I help them in understanding that their ego, your ego is speaking when you're talking. And your ego is pointing out things that you don't like about somebody else. But what your ego doesn't realize is that those things are really reflections of you. So for instance, I could be upset with my partner because they're a mess. They're throwing their socks on the damn floor every day. But my office is a mess, or my bills are a mess. So I'm projecting my concept of messiness because I'm mad at myself because I'm messy, and I'm projecting that onto them. And so when I'm calling them out, I get to call myself out without calling myself out. And that's the main argument we have in relationships. We're looking at our reflection and calling it out. Here's another example. Okay, because that's the one-on-one reflection. I call that a proclivity. There's also a patterns reflection. So my partners ignore me. My husband, sometimes I feel like he's ignoring me. But really, I'm just projecting my father, who ignored me, onto my husband. So I'm projecting, a reflection of what I think men are. I think men are creatures who ignore me because that's what my daddy did. And so I'm projecting that onto my partner. And I'm mad at him because I believe that men ignore me. And I'm seeing that belief reflected. Questions?
Do I, Charles? Charles, are you about to go somewhere?
No, I'm in student mode. I'm just listening and learning at this present moment.
No, so if we're just going to talk about that projecting for a second, because a lot of times people are just not self-aware enough to know that, right? And so how do you, when you're speaking to somebody about, hey, maybe you're projecting this onto your spouse or whatever, how do you transition them through understanding that?
Well, first off, I would never say maybe because it's definite. The only thing that you don't like about other is something that you're projecting from self. That's how you don't like it. If it's not a part of you, then how would you know if you like it or not? The only thing that you can't like, I might look at somebody and they don't trigger me at all. That means they're not reflecting a part of me. If they're reflecting a part of me, that's when we get into I don't like it. Because we are self-critical. We don't like the things that we do ourselves. And it's hard to be in your body and not like yourself. So you have to project that onto somebody else in order to survive, in order to not go insane. So that's what our partners become. And that's why we hate them. Hey, Alexis.
What up, man? We see you. You probably don't hear us yet.
Yeah. But I don't take the easy route. I'm not a therapist. Therapists don't do anything. You go there, you talk about your stuff, you leave. No, you come to me and you're going to find out exactly how this exchange is working with your partner, and I will give you the remedies, because there are remedies. In order for me to love my husband, I had to go back and heal with my daddy. Because if not, I'm going to be projecting my daddy because I have not healed with my daddy, and my body wants to heal with my daddy, so it creates my husband to help me heal with my daddy. And it's the same when I work with men, they have a hard time admitting that they have this same thing with their mother. We think women have issues with their daddy. Men have issues with their mother. And they can't even express that, and they highly project it onto their wife or their spouse. Okay. And so
what are some of the ways that you... No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I support them in unraveling that.
And we don't hear that too often. We do hear about how women might have, some daddy issues, so it's projected onto the husband. So what are you encountering for men, if you were to speak to some of the men of some of the things that you've seen of how men are doing that, projecting their mom onto their spouse or to their significant other? How's your coaching in that area?
Oh, very easy, except the biggest hurdle is men don't want to call their mother out, because men are honorable. Men are the most honorable species, man. Of men and women, men are honorable, man. I'm telling you, I love men, man. They don't want you talking bad about their mother. No matter what she did.
No, don't you talk about mama. Don't you do that.
And they don't want you talking bad about their wife, really. They really don't want somebody else to, even if they're going to, okay?
Right.
So I have to first get through that gateway. I have to get to, what did mama do? Did mama disrespect you? Did mama not see you? Did she not believe in your dreams? Did she abuse you? Okay, because they won't admit that in the first session. So once I find out, then that wife is going to be mimicking exactly what that mama did, because they are there with the wife because of the attraction to mother and the love of mother. They attracted the same thing. Yeah. So how do I work with them? I take them through lacing. I take them through trauma healing. I get them to cry about it. I get them to let that little boy actually feel and cry and release and emote and finally feel it, so that they're no longer living in the strife of it secretly and playing it out with their partners. Yeah.
I want to let that rest right there real quick. Charles, what you think? Because she's talking about us, Charles. She's saying that we got some internal stuff, Charles.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, one of the things that I really gravitate to what you said, and there are a lot of things that I absolutely adore, but one of the things I gravitated to is, if there's no trigger, if I'm not triggered by something that you do, that means what you're doing is not in me. That's deep.
Right. You don't feel
that. That is deep.
You can only feel you. Yeah.
For example, I've been in situations where someone who cared about me was upset that I wasn't necessarily caring that they
join us next time for the conclusion of sexual communication with
and my whole thing was, I know the communication that we have. I know where you are, and I get it. I understand. I'm not mad because I know who I am. So you can date this guy as long as you want to. Yeah. But he coming in hot, just like the fajita. Because there's no jealousy in me concerning what she chose to do for her own life. Just like the demeanor. Does that kind of coincide?